Greetings, my lad. Bobo Soloman.
True.
Thanks for life, health and strength and daily sustenance.
Give thanks for giving up thanks.
Yeah, man. Welcome to the podcast. We have here seat up with I and I right now, Bobo Soloman, from the Bobo Shanti house. You know what I mean? A Bull Bay, Jamaica. It's a 9 mile outside the bloody city and 1 mile up in the hill.
True.
Rastafari.
True, my lord.
Holy Rasi Selassie.
Ja. Rastafari. True, my lord.
I do give thanks, my lad. And I see it up on a whole of reasoning. We're going to roll a reasoning for the levels of the TROD of Rastafari. You know what I mean? Because I this bridge in a chat formation time. Reason how you become a Bobo Shanti.
True.
Because enough man a wear turban is not Bobo Shanti. Enough man I said them is priests, them is not priests because you have a ritual, you have a order. Oh, you become a priest.
True.
Both in the Bobo Shanti and in the Nayabing house. You know what I mean? There's a order. Them have a saying in Jamaica Proverbs, Pastor don't get him going like this, man, for work for it.
True.
So my lad, let's get an explanation to the rights of becoming a Bobo Shanti first place, and the rights and how you become a priest in the Bobo Shanti, or if you have any knowledge of the Nayabing, you become a priest, and the eye self and in the eye chat.
True. Well, yes, give thanks. Congo Rasai. Give thanks, you know. Yeah, give thanks to the opportunity to voice and I sound on the platform. True. The platform and grow, you know. No one's reach out to I and make I know say. You know, tune in and thing. You know, there I am a brother. Even before this chat.
Not chat.
You know, even before this Rastafari inception within I and I chat, you know.
True.
From we hypes.
Only for Iowa.
All for Iowa. So, firstly, I man have to say that the words of I and I more today be acceptable in the sight of the ever living I and I. And, you know, to all kings and queens, you know, prince and princesses. In the wider world, we are going to tune in and get a vision on this. So let it be acceptable in the sight of everyone.
True.
You know, because I and I going to speak from I and I heart and I mind, you know. What I man personally know. You know, where I and I guess or suppose. Where I and I know.
True. Know thyself and knowing
So
different from assumptions.
yes, so where I know I go Ika or speaker. So firstly, to answer the question, what it takes to become a Bobo Shanti. Well, firstly, I have to say, give thanks for I were the founder, leader, president, and king. King Emmanuel Charles Edward VII. You know, the man from ancient Bakawal. You know, where ones would have first be more familiar with Prince Emmanuel. Founded the EABIC in 1958. My memory serves I right. Yes. And the meaning of the EABIC is the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress, Church of True Divine Salvation.
True.
Yeah. Because it is a churchical order in a reference where, you know, in this earth where I and I dwell, habitate, the functions of earth in general is a church and state governance.
True.
Yeah, that's how I and I know. So he founded the EABIC in 1958. Now, the principles of the EABIC is a ancient order of the order of Melchizedek, which is the high priest of righteousness and the high priest of Salem. Is the priest with the salvation order or charter for all lost souls who willing to come forward with a clean hands and a pure heart.
And the church is for the people.
Church is for the people. So, to become an honorable prophet of the EABIC, as well I said earlier, the movement started in a Bakawal. It transcended to 9 Mile east of Western Kingston to 10 Mile Lions Bay, where original Bobo Shanti would say, but we know it as Bull Bay, 10 miles. So it's 9 mile to the miles, 1 mile trod up the hill, make it 10 miles to be precise. So to fulfill prophecy, according to the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, to be, because the city is a bloody place.
Okay.
From ancient Iowa. The city is a place where it get red after a while through politics and socio-economical conditions.
Alright, I know the country I get redder than the city.
So we are going to touch tonight. So it fulfilled the prophecy accordingly to the prophecy. So it became a foundation, a camp. Not only a foundation and a camp, it became a university. University by the name of Jerusalem Schoolroom. Ones and one who TROD will see signed posters that illustrate that this is the foundation of Jerusalem Schoolroom. And I make up that it's there. So the schoolroom is an institution of a priesthood through the said order of ancient Melchizedek.
So the highest order in the schoolroom is to be a priest.
Is to be a priest through the order of
Melchizedek. Righteous.
Through biblical proclamations, the book of Hebrew and the book of many books, the books of the prophets, and from books of Genesis, all the scriptures, the highest priestical order through biblical prophecy is the order of Melchizedek.
High priest.
High priest. The priest reasoning, a God priest.
So within this Jerusalem now, because with their school, what is the level you have to reach a priesthood, and you get first stage, or you get the crowning to be a priest, and the ritual you have to go through to prove worthy to be anointed as a priest.
Alright. Well, entering the foundation, there are measures as an institution that everyone has to adhere to.
What is these measures? Yeah.
Measures is, as a school, as a university, as an institution, you're going to have to register yourself. So, your declaration of who you is, name, where you come from, you know, what skills, if you have any, is going to be declared and be registered.
Truly.
After such, because it's an institution and it coverages of several acres, the camp constitute of what I would call the inner courts.
Mm-hmm.
In the inner courts, you will find the tabernacle.
Mm-hmm.
You will find the international guardhouse. You will find the international kitchen, dining area, offices, living quarters, a utility room or house, the power source of the camp, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
Then on the outer courts, you will find habitation of prophets and priests and prince and princesses and empresses, families.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the foundations, you're going to find yourself as an individual, monks, whether prophets or priests.
I didn't see it up among some priests.
Good.
Priest Archibald and them and
Good.
them.
Good. Good. So for I
It was a privilege.
for I was privileged to be amongst 4 priests, namely Priest Bradley, Priest Archibald, Priest Eddie, and Priest Anthony. And before I go any further, and I would love to say my condolences to the family and to Priest Archibald for the loss of Priest Anthony, because the priest made a TROD whilst living on the hill. So I would think, because it's been a while, it was he had some form of illness. Yeah? So yeah, my condolences go out, you know. And even before I make a move forward again, my condolences also goes out to the family of I, beloved Ijin, and I would classify as a Nyabingi priest, Rasmaka. Yes, and I privileged to send out a universal sound to, you know, everyone out there who knows of Rasmaka. Knows the warrior make a TROD in the land of Ghana, which is, you know, and I would have said, yes, he made it cross River Jordan. And, you know, he made a journey. In return. So, I say salute. Rasmaka. You know, rest in peace. So now, spending any amount of time on the hill, whether one day or 1 week, any amount of time, if you spend one night on the hill, the following morning, it is going to be the duty of either a prophet or a priest, anyone that you blocks around, it's going to be their duty to inform you of the activities that take place on the foundation. So if you spend a night, by the following morning, say 5:30 the latest, you're going to find out say a priest or a prophet going to rise you and make the diagnosis, my Lord. It's approaching the hour, and every morning there is a roll call service.
Reverence.
It is called a roll call service that 6 a.m. in the morning, you're going to hear the abeng sound, which is, Asian Africans were familiar with the history of Jamaica. We don't know, say, what we call the Maroons are ancient indigenous African people used to use the abeng. The sound, whether for gathering or
assembly point
or
war. It's a roll call.
It's a roll call. Sound. So the abeng will sound 6 a.m. in the morning, which announces the roll call service, which entails of Psalms reading, the principles of the foundation, and the register. Remember, I man talk about the register. The register always signify that you are at an institution. So all who present, name going to call. And a man going to name mark himself present, or a man going to mark himself absent. Because you're not there.
Every morning, Priest Archibald we gotta rise and say, "Present, my lord."
My lord.
Archibald read and present, my lord. A roll call. So and I was up in the hill and I was privileged amongst peace.
So.
But I get the crowning. I never get no crown in a hill.
Natural.
I go down into that.
Natural. So, moving forward, I'm going to give you an outlay of the foundation movements. Now, what it takes to become.
One of the things I touched on, as I said, is some duty. Because one teach, I met broom, slippers. There's an industry also on the foundation, an economic industry where one, you never have a skill, you can learn a skill.
True.
In the foundation.
True. So, going forward inside what really it takes to become a anointed prophet. After attending your first roll call, the picture then becomes clear in one's mind of where one is and what is the requirements of one.
Gotcha.
By your first roll call service, the picture becomes clear because you didn't know him. You didn't full experience that. But after that first morning, it becomes clear. The more you spend time there is the more you start to learn. Now, as I told you about the inner courts and the outer courts. The inner court, as I said, is the heartbeat of the foundation. So the activities there is going to be on a military precision. The international kitchen have to run every day to provide 3 meals standard for those who dwell on the foundation.
Gotcha.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. As I tell you, so the utility room is there, which comprises of a generator, which needs fuel for power itself. So that is a daily fetch for get fuel. The courts need to be in pristine conditions.
As I can recall, when you shut up on the hill, some of them duty you have to even volunteer for them because them is a daily service unto the foundation. So even these service, when they come to the kitchen, more time one have to volunteer himself because these duties never cease, it's ceaseless. 24 hour 48, 14. So there's always gonna need one to be on duty.
True.
So you know what I mean?
So within all of these perspectives, the duty's call is to catch water, which is one of the main arteries for the kitchen. Fire stick, you know, which is necessary again for the fire. And, you know, as I'm telling you again, fuel needed for the generator when evening come to generate power and current. See it? So all these things you need warriors to volunteer to put a strength in her. Now, if you check on a biblical prophecy as well, now it will show you, say now, the foundation of Israel really built upon each individual giving 1/10 of his strength, spiritually or physically. No one not pressure you for no money, but no one still not say and no one still not make you know say lazy man not go work on the mountains, really, neither. So I want to pull each individual energy towards a positive cause. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know what I mean? Then now, the foundation is basically fundamentally built up of a self-reliance, which is the foundation is a broom industry. Now I'm going to make a little quick reference on the broom industry now. The broom industry sound small in terms of, yes, Bobo man make broom. Yes. And Bobo walk 14 parishes and sell broom. But the idea behind the broom concept is that each house needs a broom. Because without a broom, the house is going to become filthy. So you have yard broom, house broom, cobweb broom, brooms for all purpose to keep your dwelling place clean. Now, the idea behind that is that a clean temple is a temple where the Most High dwells. Because, you know, the man said not dwell in a dirty places and dirty vessels. So it seems simple, but it is so significant. The broom industry. So yes, the broom industry is the main economical resource of the foundation, then comprised with mat, guidances, slanders, garments, etc. So part of the duty as well is to go a straw bush, to go get straw. Go a stick bush, to go cut stick, to build dwelling places or to help support the structures around the foundation. You know what I mean? So all of this is a part of your 1/10 and your strength. Now, it is also classified as you work in the order of salvation. So doing any one of these chores or duties collectively, it is classified as the eye is working in harmony towards salvation. Now that is on a physical level, and on the spiritual level now. You are required to attend roll call service every morning. You are required to attend the midday service also, and you are required to attend the evening 6 o'clock sunset.
There's physical and spiritual.
Both physical and spiritual balancement is there.
Yes, as I was saying, you know.
Yes.
The spiritual and physical must balance.
True.
Because the temporal and the spiritual go together.
Yes, His
You know,
Majesty.
faith without works is in vain.
His Majesty speak of such as well.
Natural.
True. So, within the physical and the spiritual, afterwards now, your works which is not being unnoticed, then now going to come forward on the forefront. This is when now priest and, well, basically a priest who has that duty for a night there. So, you know. But give you a chronological perspective is that my first time visiting Bobo Hill was, I would want to say more precise, would be approximately 1995. Yeah, around about 95. And to move forward, I was anointed the 1st of March 1998. So that, for go in reference, for sure, it's a really, the amount of time where it takes to become a prophet can varies according to your individual journey towards the TROD.
Natural.
Now, as my warrior hygiene, I would know of the time when I made that first journey to the time I got crowned, meaning in between 95 to 98. I was also TRODing the Naya Bingi TROD.
True. I make, at first I never limited myself to one
Righteous.
teachings. I just say I myself as willing to learn the Rastafari LIVETY. And I tried Bobo Hill and we tried Naya Bingi as well.
And 12 TROD.
And 12 tried.
And with their own Jalai.
And with their own Jalai.
Judah Captain.
And Judah Captain as a young people. Because we know say when they are school.
And we no run wire fence.
Naturally.
No in a Rasi Selassie foundation. No.
True.
Can't be. See it? However, we'll get to that.
So within the treading up on the hill, the eye sat up more frequently than I up on the Bobo Hill.
True.
And the eye sit up. Nah, miss no Sabbath.
True.
And hold the order right through till the priest them say the eye need to get crowned.
Well, I give you the history there now. From 95, I lax fly. See? Because I never wrap eye lax before I get anointed. So I lax fly.
So all the time you had that shot, the eye locks free.
Free. 95 to 98.
True.
Now, I was around 4 priests. And them priests, they are rockable in them own way because they had a unique story. Because they traded to Bobo Hill just in 94, if I'm not mistaken. Just in the aftermath of what ones and ones describe as the transition of King Emmanuel.
They coming at the fire time.
They came in a fiery time when some man not trust not even leave where I blow up on the courts.
Can't get through.
And them were there at that time them were so them were go through a fire where no normal.
The purification from the hill was at ice.
And them were they make I know say them not crown eye. Them tell I say they are ready, but them not crown eye.
next priest out of the other camp, them have to go come forward and say,
them tell I say they have to go in the inner courts, my lord, and make your glory be seen.
Gotcha.
So,
which is very justful because there's no partiality in that job.
No.
Like your friend, or your mother, or your pitney.
no work, sir.
The judgment not partial.
No work, sir.
See me I say you have to show your works within truths and rights.
Within truth, with a clean hands and a pure
Pure
heart.
heart.
So now, I remember it was coming to a significant moment because as the I them would know who in research mode know say the 1st of March 1958 was the foundation inauguration of the EABIC, so it is what is known as the Foundation Day, the Liberation Day. Yeah? So it is a celebration moment for all BOBO Shanties internationally. So the 1st of March is a significant day. Mark a very significant day. So they had a international convention which was being hosted by the EABIC at the Ward Theatre in downtown Kingston, which is known as Marcus Garvey property. We can talk about that further. True. So, I want personally tell myself say I not chat if I know in a robe and turban.
A big celebration.
And I also know say it not miss I. Personally. See?
You set yourself a target.
So my priest them always make I know say I must always be prepared for whenever a priest call upon the eye for the eye calling. So the teacher and I say I must always have a specific amount of turban ready. So basically them till I say, I ask them how much turban I have and until I say, well my lord, it's good for you have all colour of the rainbow, but then if the eye can afford such amount, then it would still be good to have at least the red, gold and green. True. Well, I'm did able to have 5. So me have red, gold and green and black and white. Since I always have 5 turban bill and ready. The priest them tell I say a 7 yard of material. 2 for your 9 turban and 5 for your robe. So you know numbers, when Bobo Shanti work with numbers in a certain order. So 7 yard of material can make turban or robe for actually anyone. You know, no matter which size or what. But can be more too, can be, you know what I mean. But that I work with. So I have 5 turban. Coming up to the day of the 1st of March 1998, I remember I sit up on the hill and I man look upon I preach them and say, fire, the convention I go forward in my lord and I man can't chat as a civilian in my lord. Seeing I man can't chat as a civilian. Seeing I man have to see it up. And the priest them look upon and say, well my lord, yeah, go sit up in the inner courts, you know, and then, you know, something will happen. Alright.
Still have to push it works.
Simon goes a boom down by 5 turban. I make a chat and sit up in the guardhouse. Them time there, if I am not mistaken, Priest Morgan was about still.
Was Priest Kevin and upon the hill them time there?
If I am not mistaken, he was. Because according to a clip I cite with the Bible, the timing is right in the same timing. And further down, not more conversation, we talk about enough of the timing then.
Yeah.
But we in a I mode where 95 to 98. Seeing. And The day I did in at the guardhouse with I 5 turban. I remember that priest I didn't know again.
You can't remember who was the leading priest them time?
Who was the leading priest? Well, at
Well,
that time, I don't want to say who was the leading priest on the hill overall.
Yeah.
Because at the time you still did have some serious, I reckon, with priests. I mean, I get in a couple of priests names.
Gotcha.
Seeing, I get in a couple of priests names. I know some leading priests. You know, but I get in some priest name. So, when I did in the guardhouse on the morning of the first, because it was the morning of the first, this is the day of the convention in War Theatre.
Yeah.
Them invite all heads of government, everyone get summons to attend, all media house.
Truly.
This was a convention and all Rastafari mansions was invited. You know what I mean? Okay. So and I was there. So at the gatehouse there are 2 individual priests in there. I don't want to say it was Priest Morgan, but there was a priest who always did it. I can't remember the priest name, but it was one of the ones where have offenses to enough of him actions, but in a real life it was an irie priest. I want them worried when I take talk. And him not beg no friend. You know them man they say, nah, get along with everyone, but deep down inside he was irie. Very irie. So both of them was there, and when I did it, and I don't know I Bobo Shanti, because we dip on the hill. So man ones know the island, but dying on just no crown yet. I remember the 2 of them I say, I say, the warrior already, because them see I with I 5 turban, and they serious like a judge. I say, until the reasoning start, and the man I say, what go on in idea with you? And I say, boy, you know, say, convention this evening, and I'm a natural as a civilian. But me still hold my own to come. I like more beg a priest for crown that. And I saw the thing for go. A priest supposed to say, honorable my lord, and you know what I mean, crown the eye still. But that day there was a day when I left off on the mountain. And as a civilian, I wasn't having that.